Hello, and thank you for coming back for another video from Tales from Reddit. Today we're going to be taking a look at a couple different pro-revenge stories, the first one being the worst client this employee has ever seen at their tech firm. Worst client I've ever worked for. A quick disclaimer before we start. I work as a software developer at a small company that specializes in a very niche software. We basically configure the product for the customer and create a custom functionalities. We can either work on the project or we can get outsourced to a client. Getting short-term, highly specialized developers is quite hard. About a month ago, my colleague from sales called and told me that I'm switching projects. I was being promoted from an internal project to working with a client. It was going to be an outsourcing, meaning I would work for the client and they'd be handling the whole project. I was really happy since the experience would count towards my commercial experience. She pointed me to a colleague that's been working with him for the past 3 months, and I immediately called him. We talked for a bit, and then I got to know that this was the worst client my company has ever worked with. They were a multinational corporation that decided they were going to configure and implement the software that our company specializes in themselves, without any experience at all. I don't think I have to explain to you how stupid and irresponsible that decision was. On top of that, it was their first project in Agile. It's a project management methodology. From what my colleagues told me, I got that they were constantly mismanaging the project. The tasks we were supposed to develop would be constantly incomplete, and every time they get angry and email their business department, they blame it on the developers, not even the project manager. Not gonna lie, I was scared shitless. After just a few days of working with them, I realized that nothing my colleagues said was exaggerated. I was in shock. All of my tasks were incomplete. No one would answer my questions, and I would constantly have to stop working on something because I was lacking necessary information. And the business started asking questions. Then it started. Daily meetings turned into interrogations on why I'm not working. What is the reason? Is it because I'm not good enough? Just 2 of those meetings made me create an Excel file where I've written down all my work done for the day. All the blockers and possible issues just so that I could have receipts. The project management was so bad, I was in disbelief. After working for them for a few weeks, we realized there was no effing way this project was going to meet the deadlines, and that our contracts were going to be prolonged by a month. That's when I got this idea. Immediately, I emailed my sales team and asked for a planned leave for 2 weeks, starting the same day that my contract was supposed to end. Immediately, I emailed my sales team and asked for a planned leave for 2 weeks, starting the same day my contract was supposed to end. They had no issues granting me the permission, since that leave would be past my contract since it was a slow quarter. We didn't have any upcoming projects anyways. A few weeks go by and the hell starts breaking loose. Deadline is just in a week and 90% of the work isn't even tested. Testing was handled by the client. I get tons of emails asking me to leave my current task and take care of very urgent changes that had to be done ASAP. Client immediately requests prolonging my contract by another month, and my sales team informs them about my 2-week leave. Their team accepts it, then comes the day before my leave, and here's the conversation with one of my project managers. PM. Hey, so from what I can see, there's no way we can meet the deadline and we'll be working the weekend. Me. Sure, but I don't work on the weekends, and on top of that, I'll be on my planned leave. PM. What the F do you mean you're going on a planned leave? Me. Well, first of all, I requested this leave a few weeks prior, and second, your team agreed. Technically, starting tomorrow, I'm not working for you, and my new contract starts after my planned leave. PM. This is unacceptable. I'm going to message your sales team and demand canceling your leave. Me. Sure, but remember you have to cover the cost of canceling my trip, including my mom, who would be coming out to see me for around $4,000. PM. Yeah, we'll see about that. He hangs up, and after 15 minutes, I get a forward mail chain to my sales team. It's worth mentioning that my sales team was already fed up with the client's BS. The PM is enraged. My sales team explains to him that my planned leave was accepted by the client and that starting tomorrow I am not working for them as my next contract starts in 2 weeks, and their demand for canceling planned leave is invalid. PM asks me to change my contract start date, sales team agrees. In around 2 hours, I get another forwarded email chain. My contract start date gets changed within 2 hours and I get another chain mail forwarded to me. Now here's the kicker. Client's PM asked me to cancel my planned leave since now my contract starts tomorrow. This is the rough response they got. Sorry, but OP's planned leave was planned 5 weeks prior to your request, and we have informed you about it on multiple occasions. Looking at all the emails we have sent you and the information provided by our developers regarding project management, current situations was foreseeable, and you cannot request planned leave cancellation of our employees because you didn't manage to distribute his work. Thank you for contacting us, but we're unable to help. After that, I got a couple angry emails from my PM telling me how unprofessional of me it was to take a planned leave like that. Last email was basically him begging me to cancel my planned leave, but I couldn't care less since I was already packing up for my trip. For the next week, I've been getting forwarded emails from their business department. Turns out they have discovered that all of the delays were due to project management. Our sales department got an apology email and that the client's company is very sorry for all the inconvenience caused by the local team, and informed us that the whole project management team was fired on the spot, which was forwarded to me with a simple smiley face. I love that. Don't mess with the tech guys when they're trying to do their job. They are doing it right. Just trust them. You don't have to understand it. But the fact that whoever knew about this that was sending out the emails and everything knew just to send that one to him with a smiley face. I love it. This one's titled Spaghetti Girl. Sell a broken laptop to my kid? Lie to me? Threaten me? As you wish. Hi Reddit. This happened a few years ago on Facebook Marketplace to my dad. I'm the kid. My dad told me the story about 1 week ago. When I asked why my birthday present a few years ago disappeared in mysterious ways, oh boy was I not prepared for that. Please note, English is not my primary language, but I'll try to clarify anything, just ask. Lots of backstory. I was around 13 at the time, now 19. I was hooked on Minecraft, and me and my dad spent quite some time on the Xbox 360 version. I got good grades in school, so he decided it was time for us to switch to PC. He had already gotten a pretty good PC for his work as a programmer and IT administrator, and he wanted to get me a cheap laptop. We had a hard time and almost no money, so it had to be cheap and used. He saw an offer on Facebook Marketplace from a girl that he and my mother met at a club he was, I'm gonna guess this is dining, it may be something in their language, at a few years back. Let's call her Spaghetti Girl. She was selling lots of stuff because she moved in with her boyfriend and her kids. Among that stuff was a cheap laptop. Nothing fancy, pretty scuffed, and the only network port didn't work according to her. No big deal. 50 euros, about 54 US dollars, worth a shot. My dad contacted Spaghetti Girl and wanted to pick up the laptop just in time for my birthday. He had to wait for his paycheck, rough times. When the day came, he went to the agreed spot, but she didn't show up. She called later that day and told my dad that she had to wait for her boyfriend to wipe the hard drive and she didn't trust my dad. My dad assured her that he had no intentions to snoop around her stuff and that he could help her with that. After all, he is an IT guy. No, my boyfriend works for the CIA. He's a hacker. Yeah, right. A CIA hacker in Germany by the name of Hans Huber. Name change, but a very German name. Okay, fine. She insisted that the laptop still works and that the network port is busted. After a week, my dad picks up the laptop, paid $50 and headed home. He couldn't test it on site because the battery was dead. Back at home, the laptop was, of course, dead. He opened it up, found a mixture of nicotine, coffee, and undefined fluids. Close your eyes and imagine the sound of a Velcro strap being pulled open. That was the sound the keyboard made when he tried to lift it up. I still remember that sound because I stood next to him and wanted to get my laptop going ASAP. I cried the whole night. Of course, my dad contacted the pasta lady right away. She insisted that he must have broken it as it worked yesterday, and that she also wanted 10 euros for the bag she gave him with it. She's demanding money for the bag. No, come on. My dad was calm on the outside, but he locked up his office door for about 4 hours and instructed us not to go in there for the next few days. Finally, after a wall of text, we have the autopsy. Remember that my dad was an IT administrator at the time? Turns out, he's pretty good at his job. He was a guest lecturer at universities, talked about his data recovery on conferences, etc. My dad plugged in the still good hard drive into his work PC and had a look. Of course, Hacker Hans had only formatted the drive. He recovered some files to look for any logs that would indicate that the laptop had worked yesterday. The last files were from half a year ago, and it wasn't shut down as the dirty bits for Windows were also set. Everything indicated that the laptop was dead for at least half a year. Great work, Hans. On the second evening, when my dad was looking for evidence, he stumbled across some pictures, one of an elderly man with a guitar, a few from the nightclub back in the day. I remember how I heard my dad laugh at the inside of his office, but I wasn't allowed in and the door was locked. That upset me back then, but now I understand. The spaghetti incident. She had some pictures taken with her of some spaghetti meticulously rolled up into a circle around her breast, like lots of spaghetti. with a blob of sauce in the middle to cover up her nipple. Her boyfriend was sitting next to her with some chopsticks. I mean, who in the world eats spaghetti with chopsticks, and who pays a photographer to take a picture like that? My dad tried asking her for the money back and even offered to help get her files back. Didn't mention the spaghetti pictures. She went on to attack my dad publicly on Facebook, stuff like, "There's this guy, Dad's name, who tries to blackmail me. What should I do? No, I don't want your pictures, name. And on top of it, when my boyfriend learns about this, he'll hack you." A few private messages followed. "Shut up about the stupid laptop and give me the 10 euros for the bag, or else I'll tell everyone that you wanted to rape me." Also a few insults. My dad had had enough of that. He suspended his Facebook account and went silent. He almost lost his job and family over this, but he was smart enough to save all the chat logs with her so that he could prove to my mother and boss that he wasn't blackmailing anybody. And that he wasn't sending nude pictures to anybody. Yet. The revenge. After a few months, my dad had a new Facebook account and everything was back to normal. He landed a new job, didn't add his boss on Facebook this time, didn't use his real name. He even joined the old nightclub alumni group on Facebook to connect with a few friends from back in the day. One beautiful day, he finds a new post in the group by Spaghetti Girl, asking everybody for pictures of the good old days. As the thief stole her laptop and tried to blackmail her with her by deleting the pictures, my dad kindly responded. He had this evil grin on his face when he told me a few days ago. "Oh, hey Spaghetti Girl, long time no see. I have quite a lot of pictures from that time, found them on an old hard drive. Even some of you and your boyfriend at a nice pasta dinner. After a few screenshots with old chat logs, do you want me to send them to you via private mail or should I just share them?" "Nah, just share them here, as you wish." Hey, there's good news also for her. She also got the picture of her recently deceased father back. That nice gentleman with the guitar in 160 by 160 pixels. The fallout. The Facebook blew up that day and the weeks after. At least in our little slice of the world. A few things happened. She was dropped by her friends. They cut all ties. Turns out, she pulled similar things with the bouncer of that nightclub. Got him fired and expelled from the group of friends. He was the creator of said Facebook group. Noodle word and Chopstick word were quickly both tagged in all the pictures by their former friends, and even her cat was tagged in one of the pictures. Her boyfriend Hans, of 12 years, recognized one of her tattoos he paid for, so the picture had to have been taken recently. He recognized the bed she was on, but he wasn't the chopstick-wielding dude in the picture. He was now Hans Solo. My dad never really looked much at the pictures, so he didn't see that the Spaghetti Queen had laid out quite a bunch of drugs, weed, pills, and a Ziploc bag in the background of her pictures. This minor detail was discovered by the Chopstick Master's current girlfriend, who of course went and told the police, CPS, Judge Damit in Germany, and both of their parents. Police couldn't do much. Their kids were taken away for a while. I don't know what happened after. A few colleagues of hers saw the post. She quit her dream job of being a cashier at Aldi soon after that. She had to move out of Hans's flat, she had to move across the country, and her new Facebook account is to be believed. She used the name of her cat. I know I'm being a spiteful prick over this, but I don't think she got what she deserves, and $50. We sold the hard drive and the RAM for the laptop for 30 euros each after. With the money, my dad bought a used HP desktop for me, Minecraft at 30 FPS. Coming from the Xbox 360, this felt right at home. For my 17th birthday, I got a, back then, brand new computer. Ryzen 1600X, GTX 1060, 16 gigs of RAM, and a brand new SSD. No spaghetti pictures on them. My dad and I still play Minecraft together. Now he's a software developer at a bigger company and we have no concerns about money. Not rich, but not a paycheck to paycheck. Not all heroes wear capes, but my dad does. He went to Minecon. I know it was pretty long. Hope it was worth your time. Greetings from Germany, Chris. And they have a few updates at the bottom. Edit, a few clarifications. We were in a pinch financially because we had to pay double the rent because we moved recently. My mother lost her job and our car broke down. It was a bit too much and it took a few months to recover. Today I learned people do eat spaghetti with chopsticks. I don't want to judge you guys. In Germany, this is very uncommon, which I got a feeling is the OP's way of saying, guys, why y'all out here eating chopsticks, spaghetti chopsticks? What's going on here, guys? Italy, y'all got forks. It's spaghetti. Just use a fork. It's not hard.